Hi everybody, it's Lori on YouTube again. Okay, so this is my second video. I still haven't gotten YouTube figured out yet, but I know that I have to move ahead with this, and there are things that need to be shared. So, having said that, I'm going to do what I usually do, which is fly by the seat of my pants, and what needs to come out will. Um, That's the way my life is. That's the way I fly. And I would rather do things. I would rather do things when I'm called to do them and have to apologize later for not being graceful or tactful or whatever. Um, because in the moment, the energy of whatever is happening often has to be like clanging pots together, or um, something that actually uh, interrupts whatever is happening. That's how you break up energy. That's how you change things. So change came up today as far as something. Several people have sent me things, and it was the whole issue of all this changing that's going on and how disruptive everything is. And I'm like, I know, isn't it exciting? Because what I know in life is that change is the one thing that you can count on. So, not just in our personal lives, we are bombarded by science that tells us, that um, everything around us is changing and how scary it is. Well, you know what? Just as people can transform their lives, Mother Earth, she was here before we got here. She's going to be here long after we are. But she too is changing. She's changing her shape. She's changing the flow of the currents. The temperature is changing in the water. The ice is melting. Um, on a human level, you know, we think it's all just falling apart, but it's like a renovation. When you think about the house that you're living in right now, if it needs renovations, you're living in it. It's good enough. It's, you've known for a while it needs some work, but you haven't gotten to it yet. But then all of a sudden, let's say a tap springs a leak in the bathroom of all places. You think, oh, I'll just put a new set of taps on. Then when you take the taps out, the all of a sudden the pipe is rusted, or the check valve is no good anymore, or whatever. So renovations, all of a sudden, when you start, you know, pulling back and taking things apart, you go, oh man, it's not just the taps, it's the pipes. Oh my God, it was leaking into the wall. It's the wall. We have to take the wall apart. So all of a sudden, this weekend renovation of changing your taps has now become, this huge project where you've had to pull out the wall, there's mold, maybe there's all kinds of issues behind the wall that you had no idea was there. Well, guess what? That's real life. That's real life. And so we are in fact in a renovation of ourselves. So if we are made in the image of our Creator, and Mother Earth and the creative spirit is our Creator, if we're changing, why wouldn't she be changing too? So on a human level, you could, you can't just throw the wall back together and put new taps on, and just say that'll have to do for now. I'm sure some people do that, but what it creates is bigger and more widespread, mold and problems in the walls, and now it's going to spread to the hallway. And so this is the problem with not dealing with what's in the now. So once you have shed light on something, you got to do something with it. You can't just leave it alone. It won't go away. It's going to be, it's going to continue to insidiously affect the rest of the house. if you don't do something with it. So the house is in renovation. Mother Earth is in renovation. We are in renovation. It's all about change. It's about letting go, and deciding what we want it to become. So once we realize, oh my God, the wall's got to come off and everything's got to be changed, and we got to put new taps, we got to do all kinds of things. This is the time when humans get to choose. We get to decide. Do we want it? Do we want it fixed, but do we want it to look the same way? Or do we want to do something different? Maybe we want to move things around. Maybe we want, something different on the walls. Maybe we want, a tub surround, or maybe we want a bathtub and a toilet and the sink in a different location. All of a sudden, because of this one issue with a drippy tap, all of a sudden your options have, your whole bathroom, this whole part of your, for lack of a better word, this is just a metaphor for your life, obviously. You can change all kinds of things. And it's, one room at a time, right? So here you are making these decisions for this renovation. Well, the thing about renovations and change is that it doesn't happen right away. You know, and I know that most renovations are a process. You've got to, first you got to, open things up, see what's really there. Really get a good diagnosis of what's happening in this room and behind the walls and all that stuff. So you really need to get in there and really dig and get rid of, every layer of what the problem is. So you got to dig down until you actually get to, let's just call it, in the human body, it would be, let's get down to a place where it's just fresh tissue. Get rid of whatever's in there that doesn't belong there and is causing problems. So any mold, any, in a renovation in a wall, it would be it would be mold and things that are falling apart and disintegrating and things like that. So take that all out. And then do whatever demolitions have to be done. Okay? Then you need to look at it and say, okay, so now what do I want it to look like? So this is where you plant your seeds and ideas. Sometimes people have thought about this renovation for years and thought, oh, if I ever get around to doing this bathroom, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. So you know what? Here's your opportunity. So you can actually, if you've already kind of created that blueprint idea in your mind, it's already, those seeds are already planted. There is actually a file in your brain with that renovation already complete. So you can actually access that. And now all you got to do, I know this, for some people, this is way out there, but I'm telling you this works. You can actually consider, that you're not in this all by yourself. Not in your house, not in your life, not in your body. We're all in this together, and we're all doing the same sort of things. And in life, that with the renovation, you can pick up the phone and say, you can go through the yellow pages, if anybody still uses those, or online and Google, plumbing in my area or electrical in my area or whatever. And you know what? You'll get hundreds and hundreds of contacts, right? And you just got to decide which person, and maybe somebody because somebody else has said, oh, if you ever get around to that, my friend does that. So you could actually contact that person and say, hey, listen, oh my God, I had a leaky tap. This is what happened. Can you come help me? So all of a sudden, you've now created a relationship with this person to participate in building they're helping you renovate your bathroom, which is, the metaphor for change in your life. So in reality, we are accessing, on an inward scale, we do the exact same thing when we're trying to heal our body. We can actually connect. And this kind of goes along with what I was talking about in the first video. You can actually, it's like picking up the phone and connecting with the electrical system of the body. And how we do that is through the energetic body. For those of you who don't really know what I'm talking about, Let me explain it this way. The majority of people don't think of us as being electrical beings. Okay? I really think of myself, I'm an electrician of the human body. That's a, you know, I like that term. Basically, here's how it works. Our body is between 75 and 85% water. Water is the optimal conductor of electricity. Everybody knows that. That's why you don't go to the golf course on a rainy day, right? Because those golf clubs and those hole poles are like lightning rods. Okay, it's going to conduct electricity. You're going to fry. Anyway, so the point of this is that and scientifically, every time there is a synapse in your brain, that means an electrical impulse. That means an electrical. It's like a spark flies. Okay, that is actually communication between your cells. Okay, so that is why having lots and lots of living water in your body is really important, because water is actually the means to carry the communication, the information from one cell to the next cell. So it would be like you and I talking on a cell phone, and I drive underneath a bridge, and all of a sudden we've lost the connection. It's because the reception was cut. I need to pause this for a minute. I apologize.